Go, 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 go. Check one, check two, check two, one, check two, check one, check two, check two, check. Check one, check two. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Good morning, 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 good morning. La 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 la. Welcome on this last day of January of 2023, January 31st is the date. Give yourselves a hand. You made it. You made it. We all made it. Ooh-doo-doo-doo. Hey everybody, how you doing, man? How are you, man? Hey, good morning, everybody. Mark Sconti reporting. So how you doing? How you doing, man? So the Americans have spoken. Those Americans over there, not the ones over here, but somewhere Americans have spoken, and they have spoken quite clearly. What is the worst problem in America right now? America has all kinds of problems. We've got immigration problems. We got problems with the economy. Problems. What is the number one problem, according to a Gallup poll that was released yesterday? What is the number one problem that Americans see as the problem in America? And it turns out it's not surprising. It's government itself. People's lack of belief, for lack of a better term, in government itself and leadership, government leadership, tops the chart, above inflation, above immigration, above all the other things that used to bother Americans. Shockingly, it's government itself. And what causes all that? What causes people to not trust government? Is it the lying ass media, CNN, MSNBC, running Russia hoaxes and gaslighting American people that Russia does everything that's wrong in America is Russia's fault and Trump was behind it? And or is it government itself? It's just the inability of our elected officials to do what they're supposed to do. We've hit a point where they no longer answer to the people. They're answering to a corporate entity, and it hurts everyone. It hurts everyone. There's nothing good comes out of it. So we'll explore that fascinating subject on this Tuesday. Welcome everybody. Fear porn in the house. Green Smoothie Party says nutrition misinformation is the number one problem. Nothing else. I gotta salute you on that one. I gotta agree. I don't think people realize that you could put health of some sort, there. Yeah, nutrition. You are what you eat. I say, you are what you eat. If you eat garbage, then you are garbage. You feel like garbage. I don't mean to say that you are garbage if you eat garbage, but you feel like garbage. Because you're not eating well, you're not exercising. You got to also, when you say nutrition, nutrition, I equate that with, I would say, nutrition in absence of rigorous exercise is probably not as good as you think. I think that you'd probably live a better life if you ate good food. But if you fail to exercise, if you fail to get out in the sun, if you fail to meditate, if you fail to do certain relaxation things, if you live a very stressful life and you're still consuming good food, I don't think it's as beneficial. I think what I'm trying to say, I think, is a complete package there. Yeah, I guess it's a factor there. So that was my thumbnail today. The quiz, I already gave away the punchline that Americans fear that the government government itself, in all its glamour and beauty, is the number one problem in America. Right? And of course, if you say, well, then why don't we just vote them out? Vote out the people that are in, and then we will have solved that problem. But you see that that's actually a very tricky thing to do. Why? Because the same people that are aware that you're aware that they're the problem, they also control the electoral system. Right? So the people that we mistrust the most handle our elections that are supposed to be the deciding factor in America. So it's tricky. It's a tricky situation. So I have a website. My name is Marcus Conte. Every morning live at 9 a.m. we talk about whatever. Just a guy with an opinion, right? And all your opinions. These are live people off into the chat. Real people, not AI bots. Fear Porn is in the house. Johnny Half is on the job listening. Justin Falzone is here. Cassafilly Camden, my brother from north of Pennsylvania, north of Philly. Rhonda Church in the house. Cheeseburger, what's up? Vinny DiMartini. Champs. We're all here, man. We're all here so that we could start. And Green Smoothie Party is also here. I don't know if he's still listening. Maybe he dumped and pumped. But anyway, I have a website every morning at 9 a.m. Come here if you're lost and you don't know where we are. Every morning, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m., the link will be right here. Right now, we're live on YouTube 1. Other stuff to play with while you're over at my website. I got a little fairy tale for you if you care to read it. It's about a 5-minute read. And, I appreciate it. I appreciate you reading, doing the reading before the big publication, man. Other stuff, too, going on, So anyway, let's start here. So look up in the sky, are billionaires, sometimes people think that billionaires are the big problem, right? But it turns out billionaires are even controlling the stars. You look up and you think you're seeing some kind of wild, extraterrestrial, being from outer space. It turns out it's look at the spiral before I give it away what it is. Look at this. This is a video captures a whirlpool in the night. Look at it. It's magnificent. What is it? It's a spiral. Ooh, there's a shooting star. Another shooting star. So that's the night sky. And there's this thing. What is this thing? This whirlpool spinning around in the sky. Is it some sort of I don't know. Is it some sort of UFO, unidentified flying object, some sort of government plot to scare the shit out of people? But look at it. It's like swirling in a circle. And it turns out it's nothing more and nothing less than the great Elon Musk. Elon Musk. A mysterious spiral formation was spotted in the night sky above Hawaii earlier this month, sparking curiosity among observers. Who's the chick, man? Who's the chick? Julia Fox. We'll talk to you later. The spectacle, initially spotted by an observatory in Maui, Mauna Kea, on January 18th, first looked like a traveling bright star before it morphed shapes. It grew into a large blob before it transformed into a dot. So we saw the video. There's a wonderful photograph of it. And what is it? What is it? The night sky whirlpool, however, is not a UFO or spaceship, but reportedly the work of billionaire Elon Musk. Elon Musk. The rare sighting is believed to be connected to the launch of a satellite by Elon Musk, the many billionaire. The Sbarro telescope, one of the camera operators, said it believes the dazzling phenomena is related to the satellite's orbital deployment operation. Now, how come Elon Musk isn't touting that he owns the sky, too, right? He would be like, if this was Elon Musk doing it, Elon Musk would be, look up tonight. Everybody go outside and look up, and that whirlpool that's spinning in the sky, that's my work. So I guess it shines light on, sometimes when you look up at night, I do it all the time. I got an app on my phone, Skyview app. And I look up, I discovered Mars and Jupiter and Venus and Saturn really for the first time. I'm like everybody else. I know where the moon is. But I didn't know that that bright white star was Jupiter. You've been seeing it since a kid. Or the one that's a little reddish, that's Mars. And but now that's playing second fiddle to Elon Musk's whirlpool. Whirlpool in the sky. So keep your head open. Another fascinating story. Are we the smartest, brightest, most developed creature on the planet? Well, if you ask a human that question, which is the most evolved creature on the planet, they would clearly say humans. They would point to, I don't know, we have things like thumbs, and we think. we feel like nobody else, but really, can we fly? Can we stay under the water for 200 years? Can we, do other things like other creatures can do? Far more advanced at surviving. They live a lot longer. There's some trees that live 1,000 years. There's this. So let's talk about whales. Are the whales smarter than we are? I don't know. But look what they found on Lido Beach in Long Island, New York. 35-foot male humpback whale. Check it out. Check it out. Look at this. Look at it. Look at this monster whale washed up on the shore. Now, there's a lot of speculation that swirls around. How did it die? Why did it die? Well, all things die. All right, this one's 35-foot male. That's actually a little short compared to what they could grow. I believe they grow over 45 feet. So is this a premature male whale who washes up on the shore in Long Island and dies? Maybe it swallowed, I don't know, maybe it swallowed a car or a person or something. But they're going to get in there. They're going to get in there and figure it out. They'll start chopping up the whale to find out how it died and why it died, how old it is. But fascinating, man. That is a fish right there, and you're seeing it. It's beached and definitely dead. And I don't know, man. It is fascinating that these types of creatures occupy our world that we're dominating, right? And causing noise pollution in the ocean where they can't even, At one point, the humpback whale was the most terrorized whale on the planet. It was down almost extinct, down to 5,000 whales. And then I guess times changed and they stopped hunting for them. Humans did. And now the population is up over 100,000. But anyway, a massive 35 foot. I don't know what to make of it. Man, I would have loved to see it, touch it, smell it, be next to it, be near it. Fascinating creature, probably like 100 over 100 years old. Amazing. Massive 35-foot male humpback whale washed up on the shore of a Long Island beach early Monday morning. Whale was found 6 a.m. Monday at Lido Beach, West Town Park, located in Hempstead, Nassau County, Long Island, New York. By the time crews, that's about a 1-hour drive from the heart of New York City. It's about an hour away from New York City. By the time crews arrived, the whale was dead. Hempstead Town Supervisor Don Clavan told News 12. While beached whales are common enough, the Jersey Shore has seen 7 in about a month. The town of Hempstead hasn't seen one in several years. Well, I know something about the shoreline. The Jersey Shore faces east. right? Whereas the Long Island shore sticks out into the ocean and faces south. So maybe there's something to it, or maybe not. But one faces east. Jersey Shore does. If you go off the Jersey Shore directly and keep going straight, you'll hit Europe. If you go off the Long Island shore and continue to head in a straight line, you'll end up in Cuba. All right? So you're facing different directions. This is by far the largest whale they've seen in 2 decades. Look at the pictures, man. Look at this monster fucking whale. And, you know, it's a fellow creature on our planet, right? And, I mean, it's fascinating. What does this whale know? What has this whale seen? 200, if it's 200 years old, it has seen its world flip upside down in one lifetime. Because 200 years ago, man wasn't such a threat to whales, other than hunting them, but it wasn't polluting the waters like it is now, and causing insane types of sound pollution. Now we think of air pollution and you know, environmental pollution, but we don't think so much as sound pollution. I certainly do, because I can't stand loud, you know, dogs barking and cars honking and fucking people, you know, talking over each other. That shit drives me crazy. But to some people, but to whales, if one whale is crying and the other whale can't hear them, we got a big problem. So here's, you want to hear what the whale sounds like? This is what the whale sounds like. I bet you never heard a whale singing. Listen to the whale singing. Humpback whale. Let's listen. Fascinating. It sounds like one part, like it has a lot of reverb. It sounds like good. It sounds kind of spooky, right? A spooky whale, but they're communicating to each other. They are definitely communicating to each other. Why is the whale singing? He's singing to get some other whale to join him, right? They're communicating. And if you got a lot of noise, like the sound of a ship engine, or some jackoff blowing up a bomb in the ocean to test it, it confuses the fish. It confuses the other forms of life on our planet. So we're causing that too, our noise pollution. I know people hate that idea. They hate it when you say that man is the cause of all the problems, many of the problems Earth is experiencing right now. But it truly is. We're wiping out species after species. We may be burning a hole in the ozone. We're creating tsunamis in the ocean as a result of sucking the oil from underneath the ocean, creating gaps, causing tsunamis, causing earthquakes. You know, eating everything that doesn't move. I think we're down to like a couple of 100 giraffes left on the planet. Maybe a hippo or two. We're doing this. The humans are doing this. How do we slow it down? Well, I don't know. Right? As well, I'd like to point out that as humans wipe out other species, which we're clearly doing, other species evolve. Don't kid yourself. We may become someday the biggest land creature because we're so effing scared of creatures bigger than us that we shoot at them and kill them, like bears and fucking buffalo, and anything bigger than us is scary. A lion, that's too big of a cat. Shoot it. Right. That's the human mind at work. I'm afraid. Kill it. kill it before it kills me. But other species, as we kill off certain species, other species, probably smaller than us, will evolve. I would imagine birds are not really the types of local birds that you see are probably thriving. A lot of other creatures thriving. Certainly viruses are thriving. As man kills off the bigger creatures, don't kid yourself. Earth has a wonderful way of equalizing. Nature is mercifulness. If you think we're going to get away with it forever, you're wrong. At some point, Mother Earth will eat us, and other larger creatures will evolve, like dinosaur, or maybe you get a cold spur on Earth. Another million years have to pass. Maybe a meteorite hits the planet, knocks it out of axis a little bit, and we all die, because it goes down to sub-freezing, or it goes over, 200 degrees. It either knocks us closer to the Earth, closer to the sun, or further away from the sun. A little meteorite, maybe not that big either. Maybe like a 6-mile piece of rock hits the Earth and knocks it out of orbit. But I don't know. It is a fascinating creature, and it creates that conversation of, are we really the smartest, most enduring creature on the planet? I don't know. I don't think so, man. So there was a survey. Survey says, are you ready for it? The Americans have spoken. Americans named the U.S.'s worst problem, and it's not inflation or immigration. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Americans now say that a lack of leadership, well, this is the New York Post reporting, from President Biden and Congress, is the country's biggest problem. Now, that's okay. The Democrats are leading, per se. So poor leadership would definitely fall into the category of Joe Biden. But Congress is Republican now, so let's not blame any one party. Why don't we just blame what the people are saying? Government. Not one side of government, but government and poor leadership. All of them. Not just the ones that are at the toppity top. Because you could argue that, the Democrats are at the top of the food chain, but not really. You got a Republican-controlled House and many, many powerful Republican governors and senators and controlling a lot of shit. Well, it's not one party per se. Despite Americans getting socked in the wallet, the government poor leadership took over the number one spot from inflation over the past year. 21% of Americans named it as the most important problem facing this country today, compared to 15% last year. So a 6% rise, there's the numbers, right? 21% of Americans, Gallup poll, identify government and poor leadership as the number one problem at 21%. Inflation at 15%, immigration at 11%, economy in general at 10%, unifying the country, I don't know what that means, 6%, race 5%, poverty 5%, crime violence 4%, ethical moral family decline 4%. So again, let's take a little closer look. So it was also broken down Democrat, Republican. I just gave you the average. It looks like the Republicans find that government is 24% the problem, as opposed to 18% of the Democrats. And the average is probably about 21.5%. Inflation, more Reds think it's important. Interesting here, race relations. Republicans only see it as 2%. 2% of Republicans see that as a big problem, whereas 9% of the Democrats see that as a problem. Healthcare, health insurance, only 2%. And 4% respectively The environment. This is interesting. The environment. Zero Republicans see that as a problem at all, whereas 6% of Democrats see that as the number one problem. So fascinating revelation there. That give yourselves a hand. Poor government, poor government. And how is it that the government is so poor and nobody knows about it and nobody can fix it? If the number one problem is government and we elect these people to do their job, shouldn't it be quite simple to just get rid of them by unelecting them at the next, junction in elections? Well, in a fair and, a free and fair country, that would be the case. But it seems like we're long away from that. No smarter than the whale, if you will. And let's look at some of the reasons. One lie after the next. CNN, controlled by who? By the CIA, Jeff Bezos and the CIA. A talking head. Since 2016 and beyond, CNN has become a talking head, a mouthpiece of government itself. Reporting journalism, we don't do that anymore. What we do is we report, us and the Washington Post, we take our orders and our money, our pay, directly from government. And where are your examples of that? Establishment mouthpieces like CNN, an integral part of the Russiagate hoax. All right, and the Hunter Biden laptop cover-up has dropped to just 444,000 average primetime viewers. CNN is below 500,000 viewers. I know, look at Styx Hexenhammer, for example. Styx Hexenhammer has like a fucking, 1 million subscribers, right? His videos get, 40,000, 100,000 views. Guys on the internet, guys like Styx Hexenhammer and maybe even H.A. Goodman and to some degree, whoever else you watch, are outpacing Tim Pool. Tim Pool's a great example. Very, very highly viewed guy. Are outpacing CNN. Tim Pool and Styx Hexenhammer are young men, waking up in the morning spinning news like this reporter right here. I'm not as fortunate, I guess. I don't have that kind of an audience, nor do I really think I want it. But get who's running the show, man? CNN, and CNN pays their talking heads $6 million, $8 million, $5 million, right? Where they get the money and they spin fake news. Russiagate, great example of it. So CNN plummeting in their stats. By comparison, during the same period, Fox News drew 1.4 million viewers and 176 in the demo, while MSNBC notched 629,000 viewers. So these organizations, there's 330 million Americans. There's 7 billion people on the planet. CNN has a huge ability to reach via television sets and such, right? Cable. But it turns out that they're not doing it at all. These are no longer the leading, if you watched YouTube, you would think that they are because of the rigging of the statistics. Casaphilly Cameron says, Styx puts out tons of videos a day. Yeah, he's a hardworking dude. That kid puts out. Mark Dice, Born Annoying, says Mark Dice has a better ratio as well, and a lot of other ones that I didn't name. I'm just rattling them off. Glenn Greenwald reports, this is so well deserved and good for the country. CNN turned itself into a fanatical political pact during the Trump era, got a few quick sugar highs, hired an army of U.S. security state operatives, and ratified one lie after the next with no retractions or accountability. What do you know? Watch this video, for example, of James Clapper. If you don't know who James Clapper is, he was the director of national intelligence, right? He's in charge of all of the intelligence agencies, CNN, CIA, FBI, national security, right? NSA. Watch him spin the Russia hoax with zero pushback. Watch. Listen. Let's listen to James Clapper. Spin it, James. Hold on a second.
Let me just start with this. How much Obama? So, Director, a bunch of questions from this. Let me just start with this. How much does the source matter, right? So you hear the story of this laptop. We don't know a lot. We do know that the way that this information is getting out is through Steve Bannon and Rudy Giuliani.
So because it's Steve Bannon and Steve Bannon, who is one of the greatest chief of staff to any president living or dead, Steve Bannon, because he's the source, therefore it's invalid. Or Rudy Giuliani, who ran the city of New York from rags up to riches, his opinion is invalid as well. It's Russia.
How much does the source matter here?
Well, source matters a lot, and the timing matters a lot.
They're doing this before an election. Right before an election, the laptop, Hunter Biden's laptop comes out. It shows that there's quid pro quo and all kinds of arrangements with the Ukrainian government and Russian, fucking rich guys making money hand over foot, right? And James Clapper spinning it to all be Russia.
I think. And to me, this is just classic textbook Soviet-Russian tradecraft at work.
Classic tradecraft. What the fuck? The people don't even know what tradecraft is. Tradecraft, if you're not familiar, is basically LARPing. It's live action role play. You create a fake story and you LARP it. You keep saying the same shit over and over again. You're promoting a lie. That's what tradecraft is. That's what the CIA does. Listen to him again say it.
And to me, this is just classic textbook Soviet-Russian tradecraft at work.
Right. And what did the American hacks do? All of these guys, what do? They put all of the things that they're doing, all of the things that our intelligence agencies are doing is what they're accusing Russia of doing. That's how they cover, right? That's tradecraft at its finest. Listen again.
Textbook Soviet-Russian tradecraft at work.
With no evidence at all to suggest that it's a Russian story. All right, and watch the CNN anchor. No pushback, nothing.
The Russians have analyzed the target. They understand that the president and his enablers crave dirt on Vice President Biden, whether it's real or contrived. It doesn't matter to them. And
it doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter to you, James Clapper. It matters to everybody paying attention to the story. To you, it doesn't matter.
And so all of a sudden, two and a half weeks before the election, this laptop appears somehow without, and emails on it without.
Now, listen to the vernacular here. This is James Clapper, former head of national intelligence. Do you really think that he doesn't know what the story is with this laptop? Do you think that he would just say, "Oh, well, it's, he's out there in front of the cameras telling you that it's nothing. It's a nothing burger. 2 weeks before the election, don't pay attention to it. It might swing the people's opinion." It's bad news, right? But again, CNN allows it to happen. And why do 90% of the people in America distrust CNN? Because they see things like this and they know it's bullshit. Most people know it's bullshit. A lot of people believe it.
Not any metadata. It's all very curious. But so here you have a willing target, and the Russians, who are very sophisticated about how to exploit a willing target. And to me, that's what's at work here.
And so, when you try to figure out the specifics of, whether that meeting email, for example, is real in the midst of this, do you think stuff like that could just have been planted in there and be completely fake?
Listen to do you think like a dumb blonde? She's like, do you think that stuff like that would be important? That's the kind of jerk offs they got at CNN pushing back. That wasn't a pushback question. The pushback question is, what evidence do you have, Mr. Clapper, that Russia had one iota to do with Hunter Biden's laptop ending up in a fucking, a repair shop in Delaware? What are you talking about? One thing has nothing to do with the other. Right? This is called gaslighting. That's what it is. I mean, it's not news, but there it is. James Clapper doing it on CNN. CNN not pushing back.
I do. I think the emails could be contrived, particularly since, as I understand it from what I've read, they appear without any metadata. That is, from, to, and any technical data.
Such a liar. The metadata is right in there. They got the laptop. They got the whole tracking of the laptop. He's a liar. James Clapper is not only a tradecraft misinformation agent, but he's just a straight up liar. You remember when Mike Pompeo said that came out in front of the cameras and said we don't do. Oh, it was that other guy, that other CIA hack. We don't do evidence. We don't do evidence. We do tradecraft. We lie and we manipulate the narrative in our favor. We don't do the truth. That's what guys like this do. I wish people would know that more.
At least immediately evident. Now, if this computer is in the hands of the FBI, they have obviously excellent, sophisticated technical and forensic analytic capabilities, and I think they'll be able to sort it out, whether this is genuine or not. But
well, they did sort it out, Mr. Clapper. They sorted it out, and they verified that it's authentic. It was an authentic laptop, download from Hunter Biden that revealed quid pro quo at the highest levels of government 2 weeks before an election. That's what it did. But here you say CNN. Why is CNN plummeting? Why do people not trust the government? This is why.
It's all pretty curious.
It's all pretty curious. All right. He's just a pathetic liar. Right? It's horrible. It's horrible to have to watch that. And zero pushback. Cut. Oh, no, we got it. Here's an interesting one. Here's Glenn Greenwald, who's a very honest guy, very, very diligent reporter. I love listening to Glenn. Here he is on Tucker talking about misinformation and how it all leads to, Americans not trusting government.
It's essentially a group that was, as you said, started by people like Bill Kristol, people who have been leading neocons from both political parties, CIA officials, the people who basically have been disseminating disinformation throughout the entire war on terror, the least reliable, most warmongering people in Washington. And they said that their purpose of their group was to combat disinformation and the attack on the American democracy by Russia and other groups. And their main kind of feature was that they would have this dashboard called Hamilton 68 that purported to track the activity of Russian influencers on Twitter by tracking 600 accounts. Nobody knows which accounts they've designated as influence of Russia. They're not.
Can you imagine the intelligence agencies are truly trying to convince American people that 600 kids, probably in Tajikistan and Tajikistan and Uzbekistan, over there in the below Russia, above Pakistan, are somehow manipulating intelligent American voters with half-ass, half-spoken English, like broken. I've seen those ads, and a lot of that misinformation, if you will, if it's even there, I never see it. I rarely see it. But it looks like spam. You go right over it. It's like, no, but who pays attention to that garbage? And it's also there's no way that that's swinging any election, for sure. And most of those think tanks in Russia or in these places, Pakistan and Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, right, the stands that speak Russian, or that are not even Russia. You know, the biggest thing with those are they're paid by you hacks here in the United States to promote it, right? Go after Trump, promote him as a Russian, agent, right? And these kids take the job and they go out on, social media and they post bullshit fucking spam. They spam people, right? And it's not very influential. It's not very powerful, and nobody really pays attention to it. But to the FBI and the CIA, that's their number one focus, right? All their focus is on 600 kids in Uzbekistan.
Not necessarily Russian. They're just people who, in the eyes of Bill Kristol and his friends, are people who espouse Russia or pro-Russia themes, and they just constantly make claims about what Russia is doing on Twitter that the U.S. media, in the most shocking way, uncritically ingest and puts into their headlines as fact about what Russia is doing.
So they're basically running their own propaganda campaign purportedly designed to combat propaganda. What's the...
Correct. They are the propaganda. They are the propaganda. They're trying to lead the propaganda.
The agenda behind this? I'm a little confused by it.
It's twofold. One is these are the people who have actually been obsessed with the idea that we should be at war with Russia for forever. Back in 2008, when the president of Georgia attacked two provinces that viewed themselves as more aligned with Russia, and the Russians went and confronted the Georgian government about it, people like John McCain and Marco Rubio and that whole neocon crowd, Bill Kristol, were essentially calling for NATO to go to war with Russia over Georgia. They've been obsessed with Russia forever and have wanted the reinvigoration of a new Cold War. That's part of it. And then the second part is domestic, which is that whatever views they dislike, namely on the left wing of the party that's anti-imperialism and anti-war, the left wing of the Democratic Party, or the kind of isolationist, paleo-conservative wing or libertarian wing of the Republican Party, they want to smear as being aligned with the Kremlin. So whatever views are on the right wing of the party, like release the memo, or on the left wing of the party, like, anything relating to Bernie Sanders, they'll just declare to be a theme of Russia and then accuse everybody who advocates it, Americans who advocated on Twitter, of being part of a Kremlin disinformation campaign.
That was a good assessment. That was a great assessment by Glenn Greenwald. Is paying attention. He's paying attention. Russia is the scapegoat that we gather. Russia is always the scapegoat. If we can't figure out who did it, and we're losing in popularity, and we might lose this election, blame Russia. Blame Russia. Here's another one. Why do Americans distrust government? Here is Maxine Waters calling people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Republican congresswoman, a domestic terrorist. One side of the aisle calling the other side of the aisle domestic terrorist. Listen.
It's the Marjorie Taylor Greene Republican caucus.
Give it to us.
What McCarthy said. He said he just loves her and that he's going to do everything he can to protect her. And she's saying in so many ways and words, and I own him. And so I don't expect anything from them. We're going to try to do everything that we possibly can. But I think, the average American person can see what is going on.
I would agree with her. The average American person does know what's going on, Miss Waters, and they know that you and people like you are full of shit. Now let's continue.
These right-wing conservatives who are, we have domestic terrorists.
They are. She just said right-wing Republicans, people on the right of politics, are domestic terrorists.
We have domestic terrorists.
That's what I had to listen to it 3 times because I can't understand their English. We have domestic terrorists.
Who are, we have domestic terrorists in the House of Representatives.
There's an R in there, terrorists. I can even say it and I don't have teeth.
These people are extremists. And so
extremists. Domestic, she's calling half the country extremists, domestic terrorists. That's fucking crazy, man.
I'm not optimistic.
I never heard a Republican call, well, maybe they have, calling Democrats domestic terrorists. They call Bernie a fucking terrorist, right? A Russian prop.
That that's the way it's going to happen until the people of this country really decide that they don't want it and they're not going to elect people who act in the fashion that they act.
Who is this person talking to? Who is Maxine Waters talking to? Is there really an audience for this? 20% of the country doesn't believe anything any of them say. But who's paying attention to Maxine Waters? Do people really cheer on, Maxine Waters calling someone like, Marjorie Taylor Greene, an outspoken congresswoman, a domestic terrorist? What gives you what evidence do you base on what evidence do you base it on? What is the evidence of terrorism? Terrorism. That's what she said, man. I didn't say it. What else we got? So that's all I got today, man. So ding, we're open. Let's look at the stock market. Stock market looks like it's going up right now. Yes, it is. NASDAQ is up 78, down a little yesterday. NASDAQ up 79, excuse me, I stand corrected, up 79 right now. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 30. S&P 500 up 15. Looks like General Motors stock pops up after fourth quarter sales profits top expectation. That's a good sign. One of the leading automakers beat earnings. McDonald's fourth quarter beats earnings. You're going to get all of the big tech this week. You're going to get Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft. All the earnings are going to come in this week. They're all green right now. Amazon up $2, Google up 50 cents, Meta up $1.80, Microsoft up $1.77, Apple up 36 cents. That's the big one right there. Apple, well, they're all big, but Apple is big. Apple's a $2 trillion, company. If Apple beats earnings or does something special, the NASDAQ is going to go up, up, up. That's the everyone's going to pile into the NASDAQ if that's the case. So you might see a rally up. If Apple comes out and reports down earnings in spite of all of the quantitative tightening we're seeing, raising the interest rates, then the markets are going to continue to go down. So anyway, thank you all for joining me. My name is Mark Sconti. Thanks. But Apple. Hey, what a day! What a day! What a day! What a day in our lives together. So thank you all for joining me. I think we covered it. We've come to understand that government is the 1 out of 5. If we're going to say 21% of America, a little more than between 1 out of 4.5 and 5 Americans, think that government is the number one problem in our country, the leadership of our country. Now, 21%, that's still, that's half. There's a lot of old people in those numbers. There's children part of the 100%. So when 20%, it's probably much higher. I think it's more accurate to say that, and it's fair to say that most people in America do not trust the government anymore. And that's a staggering fucking thing that's a staggering place to be, that the government is untrusted by its own people. It's like it's a banana republic, It's a banana republic. So thank you all for joining me. My name is Mark Sconti. Have a great day, man. Have a great Tuesday. Looks like the sun is out. The sun is out here in Northeast Pennsylvania. Snowflakes. Snowflakes and sun at the same time. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. Peace, everybody. You have a great day now. Doom, doo, doo. Boom, boom, ba-da-da-dum. La, 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 la,